And here I thought I'd sink away into YouTube retirement for good. But community dialogue really knows how to pull a guy back out of the muck of his Sigma grind set. So it brings me great displeasure that I am here feeling obligated to do the same community service I did for Naruto. Yes, a defense video. And better yet, I'll be defending the actions of this troglodyte's recent anime endeavors. Cheating on your perfect wife with a little girl. Sorry, I mean woman. She's a woman, guys. Yes, girls like this exist. Minus the blue hair anyway. I'm looking at you, Norn. This will not be one of my typical flowery analysis videos of Legend. As a matter of fact, if I ever do make future content, take this video as the new precedent. I'm busy writing my own peak fiction and slaving away in the corporate wheel. Yet, I'm here now. And I'm only here now because you fellow Mushoku Tensei got 9,000 glazers need to step your game up. None of you know how to defend anything in this story, and it shows from the lack of convincing you've been able to accomplish. I hope future me edits in some fresh screenshots of tweets to substantiate my claim here. Anyway, the point is, you guys suck at coming to bat for what you like. And the reason why is simple. Most of you misunderstand why it's good. Yeah, that's right. Both sides are wrong. So allow me to play my part in a role no one asked for and illuminate the truth for all of you. Roxy is poor at communicating. Growing up, she only ever failed at understanding the people around her. She was born bereft of the opportunity. Just like our main character in his previous life. How can you reach a hand out to those who never offer their own, and slap yours as soon as they realize it isn't like theirs? Unbeknownst to her, Roxy could save Rudeus then because she, unlike the boy she taught, had found a half-baked solution to a similar problem. Even if it's alone, take a step into the dim light of your own path, and perhaps then will you find someone who can brighten it. While Roxy merely gave Rudeus that initial pace. From it, he immediately found someone who made his world vibrant. And through that one simple act of pushing the scarred man inside a boy, Roxy allowed Rudeus to discover many more lights, and even become a beacon for others. His first save through his reawakening, the girl who would later become his first wife. The same wife that would later accept the one who made that greeting action from Rudeus possible. So now you see, it all comes full circle. Rudeus never truly awakened to his new life before Roxy. Sure, it could have been anyone that filled that role, but it was her. And that alone is enough to keep her ever radiant in the mind of our main character. But for the blue-haired outcast, she'd taken many steps without something truly dazzling. She saw a glimmer living with a boy who would give her so much more in a different home, but it was blinding in that she knew it couldn't last. That cozy cottage in Buena Village was not hers, after all. So she continued her stride forward, and on a new journey of paying back the kindness she received, she finds salvation she too once offered return with interest. Finally, a sight as brilliant as the scenery Rudeus gazed upon with his master storms in, glittering with another full circle of salvation. In the past, Roxy started this loop with her action, and here, where it matters most, she does the same. She's bad at communicating, after all. Of course, she would falter easily when not getting through to someone in turmoil. Then, she could only help Rudeus take a step because she too had embarked on a similar adventure of growth. But now, how can she ever muster a solution to a problem she's never faced? Her race has a long lifespan, so even at her age, she's probably never even considered their deaths. So, with her lack of perspective willing her, she uses the only tool in her arsenal, a selfish act under the guise of selflessness. This won't save Rudeus. It won't save her. But it will at least be something to pull him out of the worst of it, and at least be something bright Roxy can remember after she continues walking on her lonely, dim road. However, what does save both of them is that little light Rudeus once protected while walking the path Roxy showed him. Rudeus gave Sylphie a friend, and she gave him his vigor back, and then even more by accepting the inexcusable. 2 mistakes, both mended by the radiance of one who understands and accepts, something that both individuals needed in the past. And of course Norn would be against it. With her father dead, and her mother a shell of her former self, this appears to be the final nail in the coffin to the reclamation of the family she lost, a place where she belongs. You can't blame her for reminding Roxy of her hurtful past. Just like back when she lived with her people, she desperately wants to be accepted here. But what she's met with is the reality of her disposition. So, just like she did when she started this journey, Roxy attempts to leave behind a painful refuge. Yet Sylphie disintegrates these notions too by relating Rudeus' action to Paul, the father Norn loved and respected more than anyone else in the world. When Sylphie rattles off about her expecting Rudeus to bed another woman because he's a pervert, it's not at all to gloss over the gravity of the action, but to alleviate the gravity Norn feels inside. Like she saw in her older brother when he saved her, he is very much like their father, someone who is as fallible as any. Even this scenario is all too familiar to Sylphie. Lilia once selfishly enticed Paul to act selfish, and though difficult at first, Zenith found even more happiness from those mistakes. And the reason Sylphie can accept it all with a smile is all in her own words. "We're the same," she concludes. And she couldn't be any more correct. Her and Roxy both had once saved and been saved by the same man. And all of them, in this very room, have made and will continue to make their fair share of mistakes that teeter on the edge of ending their lives. Just like our main character, everyone is just trying their best in an existence that's so easy to stumble into despair. Yes, not any different from Rudeus' previous life. It's only now he's lucky to have someone who can listen not to the pathetic loser Neat or the unfaithful husband, but to the man, Rudeus Greyrat. A name that didn't mean much to him before, but now, thanks to all these connections his new life brought, he can stand at the grave of the man who gave it to him with pride. If it is these connections that granted Rudeus a true new life, then it's when they perish that he is at his closest to his old one. He might have endured Paul's death with a little help, but what if there's a scenario where something even more precious gets taken with nothing to aid him? I can assure you, dear anime only, this is far from the peak of what this brilliant series has to offer. I hope to see you all on the good side of the discussion in the coming years.